This is the Toyota Prius. Wait a minute, it's not actually there. Better just confirm my UberX. There we go. Shouldn't take long now. Looking for registration XBK. Here it is. That was quick. So this car, it starts from £24,000. And of course, if you click up there or on the link below the video, you can go to carwow.co.uk and compare offers on this car or any car for that matter. So make sure you do that if you're looking for a new car or you know someone who is. So let's start with the back seats, which is where most Uber customers will end up. The amount of room you've got here isn't bad at all. Look, I've got lots and lots of knee room and the footwells are big. The only minor issue is headroom. I'm okay, I'm 179 centimetres, and if I sit up straight, I can just about fit my hand between my head and the roof lining. But someone who's over 6 foot will struggle for headspace. If you need to carry 3 in the back at once, it gets worse because the central seat is raised up. Look, you can see now I'm hitting my head. It's a bit of a shame because there's plenty of room in the footwells for 3 people's feet. Now down here, the car has a 12-volt socket for charging your mobile phone devices. Shame there isn't a proper USB port, but that's good enough. And it's all right back here. You've got an armrest you can fold down with a couple of cup holders, and there's your Isofix anchor points there. They are removable, and you'll probably end up losing those covers if you use a child seat in this car. Now let's move on to the boot. So the capacity is really good. There's plenty of room for luggage. As you'll see, it's a very, very large boot. I like the fact you've got a retractable load cover rather than a normal parcel shelf. It's actually pretty easy to remove, and if I remove this suitcase, which is actually easy to do because there's not much of a load lip to lift stuff over, I can then put this under this false floor. Look, there's a little space for it just in here. And I managed to do it one-handed actually, which is quite impressive. In terms of other functionality, there's some tether points here and here. There's no 12-volt socket in the back though, which is a bit annoying if you need to plug something in like a tire compressor or something like that, or a hoover to hoover up the boot. To fold down the rear seats, well, they're split like that. It's quite easy to do from the boot, and because there's little runners for the seat belts, they don't snag when you fold the seat backs down. The only problem for me is the fact you've got this big ridge here. So if you want to push heavy items to the front, they do get caught. Other than that though, this is a big practical load space. Now if you want more information on this car's practicality, click up there to watch my detailed video on it. In it, you'll be able to see just how much stuff we could cram in this car's boot, how easy it is to fit a child seat, and what it's like with 3 adults in the back. Now then, let's finally move on to the front, because of course people buy these cars to drive themselves. They're not just owned by Uber drivers. So get out, Mr. Uber driver, let me demonstrate this car. So here we have the rather quirky interior of the Toyota Prius, and I quite like the design. It's interesting the way you've got the speedo and various information up there, then your central infotainment display here. Now as standard, the car comes with a smaller screen without satellite navigation. This is an upgrade, or you get it with a mid-level trim called the Business Plus. This system I've got here, it's okay to use, so you can navigate it easily enough. The only problem is that it just seems a little bit slow to respond, and the graphics are a little bit dated. They're kind of like from some old mobile phone, really. Now, if you click up there, you can see my full in-depth video review of the infotainment system. As for the rest of the cabin, it's pretty functional, well laid out. The driving seat is comfortable, and it's quite easy to find your ideal driving position. Cubby spaces are okay, so the door bins aren't that large, but you can hold a medium-sized bottle. You've got quite a bit of storage space under here with a useful extra little tray. There's some cup holders here with an adjustable centre part, though I don't know what that's for. There's some more storage here, and I'm not sure about this. Maybe it's for carrying individual Twix bars like that, so you can just tease your passenger with them. Now we've looked round the car, let's see what it's like to drive. Toyota pretty much started the whole hybrid craze with the original Prius back in 1997. So 20 years on, they have totally nailed the technology. Now I've got a 1.8 litre petrol engine combined to an electric motor, and together they produce about 123 horsepower. Now the good thing about the Prius is that it's just brilliant for driving in town. So if you want, you can actually lock it in electric only mode, and you can cruise along silently using the electric motor at speeds of up to 36 miles an hour. Now if you want to go a little bit quickly, you put your foot down and then the petrol engine does kick in, but you hardly notice it at all. It's just seamless. Another thing I like about the Prius, which makes it great for in town, is it's really manoeuvrable. The steering's light, and it's actually easy to do a U-turn if you want to go and pick up a fare. I also like the suspension. So I'm going to seek out a bump, a pothole like you'll find in town, and deals with it really, really well. Visibility is good as well. Got a huge windscreen. These pillars aren't too obtrusive. The only problem is the view out the back, which is limited by that spoiler across the rear. If there is one small problem with the driving experience, it's the brakes. Now, when you just touch them, they're so sharp that you end up just like coming to a sudden stop. Part of the reason for that is that the brakes actually recoup lost energy under braking and put that energy into the battery, which you can then use to drive that electric motor, and that's why you get that improved economy with this car. While the Prius's natural environment is town, it's actually all right on a faster road such as a motorway. It's comfy enough. The only thing that you do notice is that there's quite a bit of noise from the tyres. It's all right. Another thing you notice is when you put your foot down to accelerate and overtake someone, yeah, you get that sort of droning sound from the engine. It's not quite as effortless or relaxing on a motorway as driving something like a diesel engine, which just has a bit more punch. Can't fault the economy though. So this car is supposed to do 91 miles per gallon, and I've averaged 86 miles per gallon. Let me say it again, 86 miles per gallon. That's why you have a Prius. Now, you'd probably expect this car to just fall to pieces when you get onto a twisty road, but it's actually all right. In fact, there's a power mode, whoa, which gives you a bit more performance. Not that this car's ever fast, but it's all right through the corners. It does roll about quite a bit because you've got that soft suspension, but it grips well enough and it steers well enough. You know, you don't buy this car for this kind of thing, do you? But it copes. It's all right, actually. Now, if you want more detail on what this car's like to drive, click up there to watch my point of view test drive. Puts you in the driving seat.
Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car.
If Toyota didn't want to put the gear selector here in the usual position, then why didn't they just put it on the steering column where it's easy to reach? Instead, they put it here on the dash, so it's a bit more of a stretch. Why? For some reason, the Toyota Priuses sold in the UK use nickel metal hydride batteries like you get with rechargeable AA batteries such as this. Old technology, whereas in certain countries, the Prius gets lithium-ion batteries, which are like those you find in your mobile phone. Why are we not worthy, Toyota? Huh? The foot-operated parking brake is not only old-fashioned and difficult to use, it also gets in the way of your footrest. Why has Toyota hidden the switch for the heated seat down here? Is that because they don't want you to use them and deplete the battery? As you drive along, you get lots of reflections just flickering away in this shiny bit of trim, and it's really, really distracting. Oops.
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
The engine in the Toyota Prius is 40% thermal efficient, which is not bettered by any other production petrol engine. In fact, the engine in a Formula 1 car is only 50% thermal efficient. The only problem with that is that the engine never gets hot enough that you could cook an egg on it. So no fried breakfast then. You'll have to have sushi. The car's Eco Drive Monitor lets you see just how economically you're driving with various settings, which even do things like show you how much money you've saved. With the optional taxi pack, you get rubberised floor mats and an easy clean vinyl covering for the rear seats, which is handy if one of your drunken passengers has a soiling incident. Also, because the rear windows go all the way down, you're less likely to suffer from splashback. These 15-inch wheels may look a little bit piddly, but with them fitted, this car's emissions are low enough that it's exempt from the London congestion charge. The Prius has loads of standard safety kits, such as lane departure warning and active cruise control. Plus, it's scored an impressive 92% for adult occupant protection in the Euro NCAP crash tests. I feel safe. Just a bit mad. Now, if you click up there, you can go to carwow.co.uk for more information and to compare offers on the Toyota Prius. So what's my verdict on this car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Toyota Prius. If you can cope with the looks, it's actually a decent to drive car that's reasonably practical and very economical. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and click on our logo to subscribe to our channel. Also click on the video windows for more CarWow videos.